Welcome to Keeping Current with Grubby and Minx, the only source of news. On today's episode, the Kawaii-ification of the Catholic Church is gaining criticism, and Mexican organ harvesting firm Carne de Hombre lists IPO. But first, time-traveling Nazi warns of plight of space Jews. Alleged time traveler Werner von Newsom claims 300 years in the future, Palestinian settlements on Europa get invaded by Israel's space program. The Nazi had this to say.
We were wrong about the Earth ones all along.
This is a developing story, and Keeping Current will keep you up to date. Now in global religious news, the Kawaii-ification of the Catholic Church is gaining widespread criticism due to its implementation. We have our Italian correspondent Minx on the scene in the Vatican City. Minx, can you tell us what's going on?
It's really quite an interesting progress in world events today as the entire Catholic faith has adopted a Kawaii-ification process of all of their political and religious organizations today. This was spurred by an accidental downloading of Crunchyroll onto accounts shared by Catholic priests and other established figures within
Well, I believe there's the College of Cardinals. They made a joint account.
Yes. So it would be one that could be used by anyone within.
Now, has there been any comment made on the unfairness to the service provider, where the College of Cardinal consists not only dozens, if not hundreds of cardinals, and then there are thousands of staff members, one account? That's not fair to Crunchyroll. Have they made any statements on this, or have they remained quiet? Do we know if the CEO of Crunchyroll is Catholic or not?
They seem to be interested in what this could potentially mean for future business opportunities and more clients to use their service. Of course, though, the Catholic Church is taking the perspective that everybody does it in this case, but of course now we'll start to see this faith dedicate, their resources, their time, their money towards this service, which in the long run will be a great business opportunity for Crunchyroll.
So the papal office has officially changed its name to Pope Chan, and we're seeing other infrastructure changes, such as Jesus being referred to as Jesus Senpai, and the mass dismissal of female nuns globally, around the world. Nuns are being ejected from the Catholic Church and instead being replaced with animated god waifus. A lot of criticism coming from the moral right, saying that these waifus are reminiscent of, I'm unfamiliar, hentai figures, hentai designs, so sexualized figures. The College of Cardinals seems to have taken a complete 180 on sexual deviance.
Their argument is that these figurines are not necessarily sexual in nature. As we know, a lot of the art and history of the Catholic Church revolves around naked and exposed bodies and different statues and different paintings, that these seem to provide an opportunity for crossover on a wide scale for this church.
So the Kawaii-ification is being argued to be just a reinterpretation of what counts as classical art.
In all intents and purposes, this is canon to the faith and canon to the history.
So you would equate the changes we're seeing today with Pope Chan, Jesus Senpai, waifu nuns, equal to the Renaissance. The same exact thing.
Yes, it's an opportunity for the church to sort of see the light, literally and metaphorically, and start to embrace the Word of God in new and innovative ways.
Very interesting. Now, so the College of Cardinals and the Papal Office got a hold of this Crunchyroll account. What do we know captured their attention? Like, for our audience who might be Catholic, who are obviously following this faith, who want to see the light or want to at least keep up with the church, What series were they attracted to? Was it all of them, or was it a select few that really got their eye?
There was particular ones that really drew the connection at first, but it does seem to be fairly widespread outside of, a few things that are kind of considered taboo still within this transitionary period. Some series such as Naruto, the Catholic Church has already made public statements saying that the series The Seven Deadly Sins is quite an accomplishment for their faith, as it shows new audiences the threat of the devil or Satan, who they are now referring in a canon name as Bakades. As well, they have started new sort of arguments amongst different theologians, some arguing that Saint Michael himself evolved from a Patamon. As we see in Digimon, Patamon eventually evolves into an angel-type Digimon. So we're seeing tons of different canon changes and arguments starting amongst these people of faith, but the spread seems to be wide to an extent that the only difference might be which animes do or don't count, but all Catholics worldwide seem to be on board with this.
So the salience of this change seems to be smooth internally. Like a lot of practicing Catholics have just transitioned into this Kawaii-ification relatively well with some changes. The biggest area of friction appears to be from outsider anime fans. I guess we would call them Weeaboos. Caucasian individuals, Western individuals, who really have embraced the culture of the Japanese influence. And they seem to dislike the superficial way the Catholic Church has come across. I'm seeing arguments on Twitter of, the Catholic Church hasn't canonized any manga. They're not going to the source material, just the anime interpretations of the manga. And all the weebs say that's not right. Like so many animes like Naruto and One Piece and Dragon Ball Z, I mean, there's a problem with their action animes anyway. They're not even like the good stuff, allegedly. But they're filled with filler episodes that just waste everyone's time. And just each episode is filled with recaps and nothing new happens. What does the church have an official stance on that, or?
Yeah, we've seen, a huge pushback from the outside rather from the inside with, as you mentioned, Twitter wars, hashtags such as hashtag gatekeep the Catholic Church. Fans of this, and like you said, particularly Western, Caucasian fans tend to be pretty upset with the actions of the Catholic Church, sort of taking the one thing they saw as theirs and now challenging their authority with the implications, the knowledge, and the gravity of this situation. The Catholic Church, seems to be unbothered in many ways. It seems to be sort of reflective of, a soft crusade in the sense that they're willing to colonially take this space from those individuals.
So, looking at religious schisms, other conservative Christians we're seeing from Protestant groups and Orthodox Christian group from Russia, as well as Orthodox Jews, are really criticizing the Catholic Church's initiative to create anime chibi versions of Old Testament stories. We're seeing, they released, and they're all available online on Crunchyroll. There's the Adam and Eve story, the Garden of Eden, Cain and Abel, Noah's Ark. It's all in just chibi anime, and it's being called disrespectful. And can that argument be made when the biggest religion and far and away the largest sect of Christianity is making these decisions creatively? Like it's kind of it's forcing everyone to think, like, how do we navigate Christianity in these waters, right? Like, who is in control of the ship?
I think historically and culturally, this sort of, fracturing and endless debate has always been a factor of Christianity that isn't new when a moment like this happens. Of course, a moment like this hasn't happened significantly in many years, probably as substantial of the time when Martin Luther hammered the testaments, the treaties to the church doors. This is the this generation's opportunity for religious and cultural change. And of course there's going to be pushback and sort of turf wars amongst different cultural and religious groups, but really it's a historically significant event that we're all witnessing unfold today.
Now, moving away from the faith aspects of this story, we're seeing some economic implications. First, like ground level, like ground zero of Italy, we're seeing cultural and economic effects of the Japanese influence that the Vatican is pressuring the whole region.
We've seen things such as like cultural vineyards close and be replaced by maid cafes. We've seen historical cuisines start to be switched out for modernizations of Eastern cuisine and cuisine from Japan, such as sushi and miso soup, less pastas, less salads, less use of olive oil. Industries are collapsing right now because we're seeing tourism, food sales.
Could we call this soft colonialism?
Absolutely. This is definitely a colonial act in which both a cultural and a use of resources changing, because not only does the Vatican have a significant influence and countries that are culturally connected to it, but as well, like, there's people of the faith that have a huge presence worldwide that are impacting on a micro and macro scale those economies worldwide. We're seeing anime conventions change into mass and prayer opportunities. Churches are starting to become a bit more modern by selling different anime figurines and memorabilia. We're seeing cosplay completely change. We've even seen like fringe groups trying to push back by now cosplaying as what is now today old Catholics. We're seeing people try to take on the Catholic Church as a replace to their fandom now that the Catholic Church has taken their previous fandom.
Well, yeah, we are seeing a weird confluence of these two one like a social internet culture and one like an entrenched ancestral religious faith kind of merge. I'm unsure if you're familiar with the famous cosplayer Jessica Nigiri. There's a huge groundswelling of Catholics to canonize her as a saint.
Yes, yeah, and it's, a lot of people are opposed to the idea, but if you think back to it, this has been a historical practice for the church.
The precedent for canonizing saints is there for her.
We could argue the soon-to-be historical relevance of her is no different than Joan of Arc.
That's true. That is 100% true. Well, thank you very much for your insight, Minx. We'll be glad to see you again, and let us know if anything changes there in the Vatican. And moving on to our final story of the day, in business news, Mexican organ harvesting firm Carne de Hombre lists IPO. The value is exceeding previous forecasts from industry experts. With me today is Gavin Fields, Senior Public Relations Officer, English Division of Carne de Hombre. Gavin, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for giving our business an opportunity to speak with you today.
So today has been an excellent day. If any business would love to see what they saw today. We're seeing 2 or 3 times the estimated price, right? Like what?
It's absolutely an exciting time for our business. Something that started as sort of a ground level, in the streets sort of business, a small business, has now...
This was a family-run business, correct?
Yes. It started as a family amongst, blood relatives and those who gained favor.
I believe it was the Hernandez twins.
Yes.
Emilio and David Hernandez. They're twin brothers, and... their story is just fascinating. I just bought their book, so
it's quite a human story, really. At the end of the day, story of overcoming adversity. And
have you met them? Sorry, I'm just gushing.
I have, yes.
You have, yes. Have you worked with them closely?
Fairly regularly.
Oh, excellent. And so this company is based out of Mexico City. we're looking at new American offices. Where in the country?
We're starting our sort of expansion of the company, so we'll start in major centers. Likely our first two offices will probably be in California and Texas.
Okay, excellent. So, Carne de Hombre, family business, has exploded in popularity and has a lot of admiration for a lot of reasons. We're seeing attention from major VC companies as well as tech industries who admire your optimization techniques. So, to tell us about the organ harvesting industry and why Carne de Hombre is the key player.
We satisfy, a lot of regulations on a government level. We also satisfy, a lot of expectation from consumers and the public, using safe and effective workplaces. We have a great research and development department that is constantly looking into, using our resources to help progress medical advancements. Every part of our cattle is used to benefit people across the globe if we can't use it for our own business uses, such as, all blood from our subjects are donated to medical clinics, so that we ensure that blood is having...
I just want to stop you there, because I think it's important for our listeners to know that Carne de Hombre is the largest blood donor in the world.
Yes,
with a 20% share of all blood donated.
Yes, yeah. We're quite proud of that accomplishment as a company, that we're able to, save so many lives. Yeah.
That is fascinating, and congratulations to you and your company on that. Tell us about the job creation opportunities that we're seeing along the California, Arizona, New Mexico border.
There's tons of opportunity for job growth with our expansion of our company. We're seeing, job creation, on the sort of search and trap portion of our work. At our factory floors, we're seeing job growth. We're seeing job growth, for our own delivery services of our products. All across the board, we're seeing massive job opportunities growing.
Your philosophy of rising management, do you hire internally? Do you kind of cannibalize other market headhunt and stuff for key players?
I would say part of any industry, that's definitely a part of it. There's no reason to hide that portion of our company. We will headhunt the talent we need, and if there's smaller businesses that are in areas where we hope to expand and we can't find some sort of mutual agreement to grow in that area, or to sort of come together as business partners, then we'll do what we have to do. If that includes unfortunately cannibalizing that business into our own, and that's just part of the capital reality, and we're not ashamed of that, right? Interesting.
Investing speculators are kind of curious about this rapid growth and a little bit skeptical. A lot of companies who are in this position that see just a rapid growth on their first day on the market will either see huge gullies that follow after the excitement has waned off, or the hype gets to the point that they are bought out by another company who just wants to have that asset in their catalog. Do you know if there's been any approaches to Carne de Hombre?
We've had many companies approach us, either for collaborations,
can you say who? Naming them alone?
Well, we do have an exciting opportunity coming up soon. We're actually looking to expand into the food sector, believe it or not. So, our research and development team has come to the conclusion that we have the opportunity to use more pieces of our cattle in a way we haven't prior. So we're actually partnering with McDonald's, and we're going to be having a celebrity promotion alongside Army Hammer to promote our new burgers. So
excellent. So this is just a new item on the menu. Is it a limited time offer?
It will be. We'll see how the market sort of takes to the product.
Trial run.
Yes.
See how it goes.
And then depending on how it is, it's we're already starting to hear of people starting to prepare for this launch. Similar with other celebrity promotions, there's huge lineups at McDonald's restaurants across the globe.
So will Carne de Hombre be competing with Beyond Meat, or?
I wouldn't say we have any competitors right now. Our product's quite unique. Because I'd say, a lot of consumers that are looking for something like Beyond Meat are not the sort of consumers that would want our product. So we're kind of opening up the market to a new type of consumer.
So before I let you go, Gavin, I want to ask you about an announcement your company made just a couple hours ago. And it appears that you're trying to take the home delivery market by storm with your organ sector of your business.
Mm-hmm.
So is it true that you can just go on the website and there'll be like little kidneys, hearts, lung, anything you want, you have on stock, and you can just have delivered straight to your home.
Yeah, it's a very intuitive user interface. Our website, has launched to great success.
What kind of shipping times are we looking at here?
It's our stock has been maintaining pretty consistently, so our shipping times usually are no longer than a week.
Oh, okay. Do you think you'll ever partner with Amazon to get that 2-day Amazon Prime shipping on like intestine lining or pancreas?
We've definitely had conversations with businesses such as Amazon to sort of look at opportunities for growth for our company and ways that we can be mutually beneficial to one another.
All right. I know you need to go. I have a personal question. Are there any organs that are harder to ship than others? Is there one organ? And alternatively, do you have a favorite human organ?
I would say the hardest to ship organ, our product that's definitely the hardest to get out, has been lungs, just because it's a bigger package. You usually request two. Rarely would anyone ever request one lung. My personal favorite organ, I think, is probably the brain, just because a little potential future opportunity for a business could come from using that for other means. Lots of tech companies are interested, like you alluded to. So I'm most excited for the potential of that organ.
I hear the popularity of the liver is really high, and that would be probably due to alcoholics.
Absolutely. This offers an opportunity for cultural change, so people don't have to be living in fear with their
more
medical
restrictive
choices,
changes,
their dietary and their lifestyle choices.
They can just keep going.
There's the opportunity to replace that organ. Excellent. And to continue on through. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm very excited for this company. I'm a big fan of its founders, and I'm always keeping an eye out for some digital coupons. So.
Oh, absolutely! You'll see tons marketing with companies such as Honey and the likes, where we'll see lots of online coupons. So
I'll keep my eye out, Gavin. Thank you very much.
Keep your eye out for an eye, eh?
All right. Thank you. Gavin Fields, Senior Public Relations Officer for Carne de Hombre. All right. This has been Keeping Current. Thank you for listening. This is Grubby Grubberson signing out. Have a lovely day. And remember, this is your only source of news.
We were wrong about the S ones all along.